How this may apply on a collective level. I feel that we are transitioning from duality or separation consciousness into unity consciousness. We are moving out of judgment and into compassion, and we are learning how to connect and relate to each other on a different level now, through intense levels of pain and perceived loss. This means that we have to purge out all of the outdated programming that is not serving us anymore. We are going back to the beginning, but on a new level. We are being completely revamped. Some qualities of duality or separation consciousness are fear, judgment, fragmentation, unconscious projection, linear, logical, survival, lack-based, and oscillating between dependent and independent relationship dynamic. Qualities of unity consciousness are union, integration, empathy, cyclical, quantum, energetic, experience-based, abundance, and interdependence. Coronavirus kicks off this new planetary cycle by making us aware of the individual within the collective. The COVID-19 program is increasing our awareness of both our individual and collective responsibilities and urges us to find balance. This is our first global lesson on interdependence in this new cycle. We've been forced to physically separate ourselves from each other and stay home. Though we are experiencing physical separation through social distancing and stay-at-home policies, we are all connecting on the internet now more than ever. This not only shows us how interconnected we truly are, but how much we rely on this interconnectedness as human beings. What's even more interesting is how we use the internet. The internet could be considered a communication system of a Type 1 planetary civilization. It was originally developed by the CIA as a war tool, and in the past few decades has evolved into a communication and networking system. Amongst other things, we have mainly been using it as a projection of the collective human limbic system, where we individually and collectively purge dense consciousness through a call and response format. For example, someone posts something, call, someone is triggered and reacts, response. The energetic exchange either ends there or sets off a chain reaction of sub-call and responses, which have limitless potential to expand or dissolve. Once we are able to truly grasp what is unfolding and purge enough of this outdated scarcity-based programming both individually and collectively, we will recognize that the ball is in our court. COVID-19 is a catalyst with destructive and creative properties. It could not be a better representation of unity consciousness. This program is ushering us into being able to see the transformational potential in both negative and positive energy and integrate them into one complete experience by embodying neutrality. This allows us to stand at the center of the energetic circuit, which needs both a positive and negative charge to be complete. Like the Tower card, death is just another form of transformation. Coronavirus is sweeping through our planet to destroy the outdated fear-based paradigm by clearing out lack-based programs and belief systems. This demolition process clears space for us to step into our power both individually and collectively. Rebuilding will require integration and collaboration, and we are learning how to perceive things holistically as we navigate this experience together and alone. We need the powerful mixture of diverse perspectives, understandings, skill sets, resources, network, and more to develop creative solutions to the world problems that we've created. That's the secret sauce. Some qualities of the new planetary cycle are equitable energetic exchange, innovation, collaboration, outside of the box thinking, uniqueness, internal validation, alignment, creative solutions to world problems, more playing and living, experience, gratitude, a holistic approach, and sandwiches. Haha, just seeing if you're paying attention. New systems. We're in the age of Aquarius now, and we can expect to see new systems arise that focus on interdependence, being sovereign, authentic beings that are able to live sustainably as individuals within the greater collective. In order for this to happen, any of the systems that were created from a place of lack and fear will need to fall in order to create space for the new to come in. Some examples may include: the United States may shift from capitalism more towards socialism. This will not be overnight. It's not the flip the switch challenge. This will be gradual. I feel we will move towards a midpoint that is something like conscious capitalism that takes a more holistic and interdependent approach. Consumers and businesses will have to become more aware of the tax on the planet and how consumerism affects all of us holistically. This could look like awareness of social, environmental, and effects on our planet as a whole, sustainable systems, and building your estimated carbon footprint into your business model. We the people have a large effect on how this plays out, so it's important to courageously step into your purpose and serve. I feel we will see more people stepping into their purpose work and engaging in more purpose work that serves humanity and aligns us with abundance, less working monotonous jobs just to survive, shifting from surviving to actually living. How we are supposed to be stepping into our purpose and out of working monotonous jobs just to support ourselves. We are meant to be abundant by serving. This is where technology helps a lot. Natural resources and energy. We've seen a lot of advancement in green energy technology over the years with electric cars, accessing solar energy at home, and much more. Physicist Mikao Kaku talks about how we are transitioning from a Type 0 civilization planet to a Type 1 civilization planet, where we source our resources by harnessing the energy of the planet instead of draining it for fossil fuels. This could be a metaphor for how our approach to truly understanding the power of the feminine energy, Mother Earth in this case, is outdated. Race relations. The best way for us to understand where we are at is to understand where we come from. Increasing our awareness of each other's unique and equally valuable perspectives is allowing us to move towards balance. Improving race relations is not just about rallying when shit hits the fan or protesting in response to heinous acts of racism, but what we can do every single day to offset the effects of systemic oppression. Because there are microaggressions and covert behaviors of systemic racism that occur daily, and we all partake in it whether we recognize it or not. This country was founded on slavery and many other horrid acts, and the systems built to create white supremacy are deeply rooted in the foundation of the American culture and society, from the school systems to corporate prison systems, to access to resources and education, nutrition and healthcare, beauty ideals, ability to own land and ownership in general, capitalism overall, and much more. Many people may not understand why slavery is a topic of conversation in the present day because they think, let the past go. Slavery was abolished years ago. However, it is important to also recognize that open-in-your-face slavery was abolished less than 200 years ago. That's not even 3 generations. If you are a first-generation American, you may see how there are a lot of systemic things that you may not be privy to or do not have access to because your parents were not aware, or your parents did not have the social capital to be able to access these benefits. Systemic oppression affects all of us, and trauma runs deep in the lineage of humanity. Wouldn't it feel so good to be able to connect to each other more and release underlying racial tensions that are present within probably most human interactions? The only way we're going to get there is by first understanding each other and then creating new systems that not only balance things out, but also empower us as well. Again, slavery was quote unquote abolished 200 years ago. But please keep in mind that is just one type of slavery. The way systemic oppression works is by building systems and structure that create layer on top of layer, making it extremely hard to not only navigate, but also free yourself from fully, generation on generation. One great tool here is to really listen to our brothers and sisters of the human family. When we care to understand, we understand to care. Listening to the experience of different members of the human family that come from different backgrounds and perspectives than you helps you grow as a human. Remember, compassion is a state of being and a feeling that allows us to reach understanding. Once you understand, it's easier to collaboratively reach solutions and create balance and change. I'm not even scratching the surface here, and this is a very important conversation that is continually moving forward. I'm going to get more into this in my series on social abundance. Another way to look at it is, if you were in an abusive relationship at any point in your life, wouldn't you love it if that person that abused you actually listened to you about how you felt during that process? Because they truly wanted to understand your perspective and feelings and was genuinely sorry? Wouldn't you love it if they actually listened to you about how they could aid in the healing process of resolving that energy or charge? Wouldn't that feel amazing? That could be one way to look at race relations in our country and how important it is to listen so you can understand. Think about when you first came out of an abusive relationship and you learned about gaslighting and other techniques that person used to manipulate you during that time, whether it was conscious or unconscious. Now, imagine this on a societal level, to the point where you cannot trust the systems that are put in place to allegedly serve the citizens of the country that pay taxes to support these systems that are supposed to keep us safe and healthy. You now have the awareness of the abuse and manipulation tactics. You recognize you cannot trust the systems, and you still have to function in society while experiencing the abusive behavior daily. What are you supposed to do? Where are you supposed to go to feel safe? Being under extreme levels of stress puts human beings in fight or flight mode. And any human being under this condition for extensive amounts of time will experience negative health effects, even to the point of developing autoimmune diseases and more. So if you really want to create change, start by listening so that you can understand other people's perspectives, because it's only going to be through understanding that we can all work together to achieve change and create systems that empower us all. Finance. 1% of the population has held the majority of the financial abundance on this planet for eons. And now we're seeing the instability from the ever-increasing wealth gap reach critical mass as we face market collapse. We have also seen an increase in access to financial literacy due to the internet. A podcast I really like is Earn Your Leisure. In one of their recent episodes, they talk about day trading, the history of our financial system, and how it connects to slavery. I also watched a recent episode of The Breakfast Club where they interviewed Andrew Yang, and he talks about the stimulus package and new approaches to increasing cash flow in our economy. Charlemagne also discusses reparations in this interview. We're seeing redistribution of resources in abundance amongst the global population. One example of this is years ago, fame seemed unattainable to most and was hoarded amongst few. But then social media came out and we realized that fame was being redistributed amongst the general population. Education. More and more, you are seeing increasingly affordable access to education. Coursera offers university-level classes for a monthly subscription, and you can apply for financial aid as well. Skillshare and other platforms offer skill-based classes for a monthly subscription, and you can also apply for financial aid on there as well. Another platform I love is Hoopla, and through my library network, I'm able to borrow 5 books per month for free. This includes audiobooks, ebooks, and more. There are many other platforms. Those are just 3 that I use most. Clothing and fashion. Fast fashion has reigned for a while now. However, we're seeing an increasingly growing movement of cyclical and sustainable fashion. There are tons of ground-level brands that are making clothing and products from upcycled materials, and big corporations are also participating in this movement. One of the issues with the current economy and sustainable fashion brands is that the wealth gap is growing increasingly larger, and people still want to keep up and show out on social media and more. So what ends up happening is people buy fast fashion because it's more affordable. The problem with that is that it sets the expectations low, and people do not understand what it actually costs to produce local, sustainable, or cyclical fashion. Also, the amount of pollution created by fast fashion is truly detrimental to our planet. I personally feel it's better to buy quality pieces that last longer instead of pieces that get ruined after you wear them a few times or wash them, and then they just end up in a landfill. The thing is, when you buy a lot of fast fashion, you end up buying a lot more clothes more frequently instead of when you buy high quality pieces that last. When buying fashion pieces, it's important to consider the cost per wear, which is the cost of an item divided by the amount of times that you wear it. Once you figure out how you spend your time in the pieces you want to invest in, then you will be able to justify investing in higher quality clothing that lasts longer. The thing about fast fashion is it prevents you from developing your own sense of personal style because it is trend-based, and trends are always changing. Fast fashion is based around the psychological pain that the consumer will experience when looking at the price tag and seeing a high price point. Fast fashion companies make the price points very low at the expense of quality, style, and how much it taxes the environment. The concept that fast fashion will save you money is a complete lie. It's better to develop the capsule wardrobe mentality and invest in items that last you for years. One way you can make change is by purchasing certain items from small sustainable fashion brands and incorporating them into your wardrobe. Exercise and physical movement. Americans have increasingly worse and worse posture due to sedentary lifestyle and also staring down at their cell phones all the time. Additionally, contemporary footwear is not good for your feet. Over the past years, we've seen an increase in the popularization of minimalist footwear, basic human movement patterns, intuitive movement, and people integrating movement awareness and grace into their daily being. This is an integrative approach to living instead of a linear approach that there is only one way to do things or that aspects of life need to be separated or compartmentalized. People are beginning to prioritize posture over work and incorporating tools like standing desks or squatting doing their work, etc. I am also seeing more people teaching about facial musculature and how you can change your facial structure with exercises and do not have to resort to plastic surgery or fillers. I also feel that we will see a more harmonious relationship between humanity and technology. Technology has been evolving so fast and introduced to the masses that its potential has been somewhat overwhelming to us on a basic human level. That is where we can step into our sovereignty and collaborate with technology in a more harmonious way through healthy boundaries. Humans offer aspects of life that robots cannot. Technology also offers aspects of life that we cannot. However, we too must evolve. Compassion is key. Pay attention to how you feel. Are you tired of looking at computer screens? Listen to that and respect that and connect to your natural rhythms. Overall, I want to emphasize that greed and hoarding are not going to work in this new cycle. We're going to become increasingly aware of the areas that we need to clear out on individual and collective levels through catalysts like coronavirus. So the more we can all do our part, the smoother the transition will be. This leads to my next point, interdependence. We all have individual responsibility and collective responsibility. Hoarding supplies is a perfect example of this. If you take too much, there won't be enough for others. We are abundant. There is more than enough for everybody. The issue is balance. When you fall into scarcity mindset, you create scarcity reality. When you click into abundance, you become abundant. We are all abundant in different ways. The more we share, the more we receive. Skills, money, food, supplies, knowledge, understanding, connections, network, and so on. Xenophobia is another example that people are still not understanding the cyclical nature of things. Think about it. How many products in your home are made from China? Coronavirus is not Asian people's fault. We are all contributors to the current state of the world. Production and consumption is a relationship. You can improve this relationship by being more mindful of where you buy your products from and how they are produced. It's time to grow up, love your brothers and sisters, and share the abundance we all have access to. This is the wake up. We've all been wanting change for a while now, and we've all been directing our energy and attention into that. Well, it's here now, so we need to rebuild these systems interdependently. Moving forward, I feel we will see more and more sustainable businesses arising. Businesses are just functional systems that facilitate serving your purpose. Energy is the key. We have all been sending out intentions to change our lives, whether it be conscious or unconscious. Now the opportunity is here, so it's time to step up. It's time for all of us to work together. The oldest generation has the most worldly understanding, and the youngest generation has the most divine understanding. So the more we can all come together to offer up our strengths and support each other's weaknesses through collaboration, the better.